As a child, the bicycle was an effective means of transportation. It got you from point A to point B easily and quickly. Most trips you made were just a few miles, and the bicycle served you well. As you got older, horizons got wider, and the automobile awaited as a symbol of an adolescent's ascent to adulthood. From that point on, car manufacturers regularly reminded you of the car's importance. Originally promoted as a cross-country machine, the automobile more often serves for those short trips you used to make on your bike. In our environmentally and health-conscious society, ironically, most drive their car to a fitness center so they can ride a stationary bicycle. This program gains the perspective of those in the bicycling movement to learn how implementation of a bicycle infrastructure is imperative to lower commuter stress, reduce traffic, pollution, and the externalities associated with a transportation system designed for infinitely fewer cars. The fact is, we've run out of space to build more roads. We have cars that climb mountains so you don't, and cars that crash through buildings when you're feeling a little annoyed. Automobile manufacturers remind us of our need to buy more new cars so you can show others how you see yourself, be it sporty, rugged, elite, or practical.
We'll give you $100.
Recently, to show its environmental and social conscience, the Ford Motor Company magnanimously announced the installation of solar panels in one of their facilities. Conspicuously absent was any explanation as to how they would reduce emissions from the increasingly powerful engines they produce and promote for worldwide consumption.
It's ludicrous to have one person per vehicle and have 10,000 vehicles in a horizontal parking lot on 395 or 495 or even the Parkway.
Brooks Cito, Community Relations Coordinator, Bikes USA.
Or each car you take out of the loop, off the street and replace with a bike commuter is that one less car in the flux. In Germany, they have a sign up along the highways that says, "You're not in a traffic jam. You are the jam."
Wanting to learn more about the bicyclist's perspective on traffic congestion, I spoke with Jeff Eberwein, a cross-country cyclist, and Ellen Jones, the director of the Washington Area Bicyclist Association.
You've traveled around the United States on bicycle.
Well, I went across the country last summer. I went from Anacortes, Washington to Rehoboth Beach, Delaware in about 5 weeks and 3 days. With the amount of congestion that you have on the roads around here and the amount of time people spend in traffic because the roads can't handle the amount of cars that are out here, if you put more people on bikes, I think you'd find that, you know, the distances are not that inaccessible, that you could travel distances to a store or possibly even to work on a daily basis with relatively little trouble at all, as opposed to sitting in traffic and getting snarled up on 495.
Congestion translates into everyday lives of people in the region by meaning lost time whenever they're needing to get to work, to get to school, to do what they need to do in their daily lives. It means more time is spent behind the wheel going nowhere, and the loss of productivity is a significant issue for this region's continued economic health. We are challenged daily to make bicycling a viable means of transportation for people who choose to use it. In the Washington metropolitan region, we have 3 jurisdictions in this region: Virginia, Maryland, and the District of Columbia. They each have their own unique problems, but they all share in common the increasing dominance of our transportation system by single occupancy vehicles. What we need to do in all these cases is to work to make it easier for people who choose to take the option of bicycling and integrate it into their daily lives.
Motorists should look at every cyclist they pass as one less car that's polluting the air and one less car that's taking up a space on the highway so that the car can commute more efficiently.
Clearly, bicycling's an excellent solution to commuter congestion. But as I found out from these individuals, safety's a key issue.
I actually been hit because I stopped at a stop sign and then I saw a car coming and they were slowing down, so I assumed that they were going to stop. And I went through and they weren't paying attention. They did like a rolling stop and then they hit me in the intersection. Like I wouldn't ride on Washington Street to save my life.
When I bike on the streets, I feel very unsafe. Most of the drivers are not aware of some of the situations that you can make a biker nervous if you beep the horn or if they swerve too close. A lot of people are very inconsiderate of bikers.
With the amount of traffic that we do have, as someone who's ridden many, many miles, I like to be safe as well. And there are a lot of roads around here where it is not safe to ride because of the fact that people aren't watching for you. They're more interested in getting to work or cutting behind someone or getting to work or wherever they're going as quickly as possible, and you may just wind up in the crosshairs unexpectedly.
I can't believe the suggestion that people should be on the road on a bike. It is so outrageously dangerous on the road to be in a car, no less on a bike, not just for the bicyclist, but for the people driving. That makes no sense at all. And how many young children are killed each year on their bikes crossing road, doing something that simple? You hit a rock and you're over in front of a car, and that's a disaster for everyone, no less than a congested area. I just can't imagine. It seems totally outrageous to me.
If they're not willing to make sidewalks, then at least make the side of the road a little wider so that we could ride on there, and make signs saying bikers on the side of the road or something. Just something so that drivers will be aware that we're on the side of the road and they don't just come out and hit us. And especially around this intersection right over here when we're trying to get from mall to mall. And I know you guys are out there, so stop trying to run us off the road. But there are you guys out there, and most of them are teenagers, but some of them are parents that are just trying to get home from work, and we really appreciate it if you wouldn't try and hit us. So, thanks.
One visitor to Washington, D.C. described bicycling on Washington Streets best by saying,
"This is crazy. I tell you, this is crazy."
What do you think you could get motorists to do, if anything? What would you like to see them do to improve your confidence out on the highway?
Ride a bike. Seriously, get on a bicycle and see just how much nicer it is to travel when you don't have your scenery framed by a windshield. As I went across the country this year, I met hundreds of people along the way that I would stop and talk to just because I could. And traveling in this fashion is not only rewarding, it's healthy. You know, you can do it until you're way into your 70s and 80s, as is well illustrated by the people riding down this trail today. And I also think that with the scenic beauty of this area, we're all trying to, try to reduce the amount of pollution. When you go to parks, you go up Rock Creek Park and stuff, the less cars that are out there and the more people that actually take this course, you're going to find just how much more pleasant the natural resources around here and the Chesapeake Bay can be.
These bicyclists had this advice for motorists to develop empathy and respect for bike riders.
9 times out of 10, when a bike rider gets hit, I don't think it's a lack of his attention. I think it's the people who are driving the automobiles that aren't paying attention to them.
I think when you feel the fear of a car swishing by you at 60 miles an hour in a 35-mile zone, that you'll be a lot more sensitive to it. And to recognize the fact that we're all here together. I mean, it sounds so touchy-feely, but it's true. So you have to make space, and you have to move over, and be patient. Be patient. And get on a bike. I agree. I'm with it.
I would like for drivers to be a little more courteous to bikers and people that are exercising. I mean, we're doing something to take good care of ourselves and to promote good health. So I just would prefer that they not be rude and they'd be more courteous to us, because we're doing society a favor. I mean, we're taking good care of ourselves, which in the long run probably costs a lot less for the government.
In the face of worldwide environmental and health concerns, the question is, how can we reap the benefits of bicycling given an infrastructure that predominantly supports cars?
In order for bicycling to take significant steps forward in this region, what we're going to need to see is a whole lot more accommodation for bicyclists on our roads, as well as a continued expansion of our trail network and connections from trails to neighborhoods, commercial centers, employment centers. Also, we need to see a continued movement, which we're glad we've seen some progress in this, in integrating bicycles into transit.
One of the things that you don't see in this area are dedicated bike paths along major arteries or even secondary arteries.
If they are looking to develop more bike routes in the Northern Virginia area, that they should really consider putting money into that, and it would ease some of the congestion on the roads.
The reasons for using bike routes are many. Bike routes save you money.
It saves me, between $15 and $20 a day in gas.
Bike routes improve bicyclist safety.
Bicyclists had the fewest number of crashes on roads with bicycle facilities.
Bike routes improve your health.
I really think we're in a downward spiral, that the more congested the roads become, the more aggressive the driving becomes, the more toll on human life.
Why is it that people have such difficulty supporting a non-polluting, low-cost, healthy mode of transportation, I wondered? With so many compelling reasons to accommodate bicycles, I met with Mount Vernon Supervisor Jerry Hyland to learn why bicyclists aren't better served.
Clearly, the bicyclists don't have the strong political force or the lobby that the folks who build roads would have. As a planning approach, designated bicycle lanes should be automatic, and we're not there yet. Clearly, you have, just by the fact of one bike, and if you have thousands, significant impact on the quality of the air and our ability to control emissions that create a real problem for the Washington metropolitan area. It's win-win-win-win in terms of encouraging people to bicycle, but they've got to have a way to do it safely.
Here's what you can do to promote the bicycling movement. Let your elected representative know that as a constituent, you expect her or him to support the implementation of bike routes. Join a bicycle advocacy organization. Grassroots organizations need your support to promote the benefits of bicycling. These organizations will be listed at the end of this program. Participate at transportation hearings to explain the need for a bicycle infrastructure. Explain how bicycling creates solutions to enormous health and environmental issues that will only worsen without action. Emphasize that bicycling creates jobs, reduces tax burdens, traffic congestion, and pollution. In the meantime, keep on biking. I'm Bruce Peters. Thanks for joining us.